Clorox knows you want your clothes smelling fresh and clean, but so what happens? That's why we created Clorox fabric sanitizers to freshen up your clothes between washes, pre-treat extra stinky laundry, and make sure every last odor comes out in the wash. Clorox fabric sanitizers take care of all that and eliminate 99% of odor-causing bacteria. Plus, they're bleach-free and safe for all colors and fabrics. When it counts, trust Clorox.
It was just a fantastic moment. I mean, seeing all that outpouring of emotion of so many people, and I think for me as an Italian fan, like I think a lot of people might misconstrue it, and some people say a lot of these fans are, Euro snobs and this and that because, hey, why aren't you going to the A-League or going to the NPL because you're Italian fans? End of the day, this is a moment where it's more about like identity and being proud of where you come from, because a lot of people that went, there's a lot of people that probably aren't really football fans. There are people that I know that went that definitely weren't. People who just went for the experience. It's an experience. End of the day, it's a spectacle, right?
It's like if the Australian boomers,
there'll be a lot of people that get around them if they make the gold medal game.
Yeah, if they've got a gold medal game at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, chances are you're probably going to head down to the pub, watch it, it'll be great. But that doesn't mean then someone's going to say to you, "Oh, why aren't you watching the NBL?" Yeah, it's not the same.
For instance, right? Think about it like this: Mac Horton, for instance, the Olympics, right? He's gone for gold. Say he's going for gold, and say I don't know, I don't even know what he qualified for in him. Say it's like the 400-meter freestyle, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to watch it because it's an Aussie going for gold, and everyone's going to be like, I really, really, really want Mac Horton to win this, right? Because it's like this is amazing. But you're not going to turn around and say, but why aren't you watching swimming all year round? Like, why haven't you been, tuning into Prime, Amazon
Why aren't you
Prime?
watching the World Championships?
Yeah, why aren't you watching the FIBA qualifiers and all that? That's basketball. Sorry, the FINA, I think it is. I don't even know what they're... Sorry, this is... But that's exactly what I mean. I don't even know much about swimming. But,
you're allowed to pick and choose.
Yeah. And the thing was for me is that there was just so many people there that embraced that sense of, just who they are. And I think that's one thing, we've seen here. Unfortunately, with football here is there was this time and a very long time where there was this stupid ruling about, stamping out, identity and all that sort of stuff with NDIS. And it's just NCIP, sorry. I'm getting it wrong. I said NCIS. NCIP. We would have needed NCIS to get around it. NCIP. And I guess now how that's gone and people actually embracing their heritage is a great thing.
Yeah.
And I think that there was just this feeling of, a lot of Italians were so ridiculed and so upset after they missed the World Cup. I remember the amount of sofa expletives, like shit, that I copped during that period. It frustrated the hell out of us because as much as I go for Australia, there's that period that, we're still Italians. Like we're still people that go for it. It's like, any sort of Australian, there's a lot of Australians that go for Croatia, a lot that go for any other nations as well, like Macedonia, etc. All the different ethnicities. And the fact that, we had to sit there through 2018 and miss the whole World Cup while it was such a great spectacle and we didn't get a chance to embrace that and we were the brunt of the world jokes. Oh, Italy didn't make the World Cup. The story in itself is fantastic.
Yeah.
Didn't make the World Cup. Rock bottom. Roberto Mancini comes in, revolutionises the team, makes them the most watchable team in world football. Just completely changes perspectives. And as well, think about their COVID situation, how, so many people died in Italy last year. That was one of the hardest hit nations in the whole world. You think about 16 months ago, I remember seeing videos and it actually, thinking about it actually makes me a bit emotional, is seeing Italians on their balconies singing to each other whilst they're locked in their apartment buildings and that sense of passion. But now it's been all brought out in this team and they understand, like they're representing everyone, not just in Italy, but all around the world. There were scenes in America like that, scenes in the UK, scenes everywhere. And I think it was just this moment where everyone was able, and especially even being Melburnian, we recognise this as well, being locked up for so long through all the lockdowns we've been through. And obviously I feel for the Sydney siders who are watching this who weren't able to experience it yesterday. Being able to be around people and experience that. Like we haven't been able to do that in how long?
No.
Like something like that.
I mean, it was perfect timing.
It was fantastic.
It was like you couldn't have timed it better because it wasn't a situation where there was 2 or 3 cases a day and blah blah blah. We even had a case for.
Well, we had a case overnight, but that's like very low risk because they're already in isolation. But the thing is about that moment, I think as well is that I think there's one praise I want to pass on is that the police I thought were fantastic.
They were great.
They didn't antagonise. They didn't, try and shut it down. They patrolled it.
Yeah.
They had their horses. Yes, they had a lot of cop cars around, but it's not like, they, were actively trying to shut it down. They were just making sure it was nothing ridiculous was going on to the point where people's safety can be endangered.
Yeah.
The people who were endangering their safety was that guy kept trying to do a 3-point turn on bloody Lygon Street. You can't do a 3-point turn on Lygon Street.
You're not going to make that happen. But it was just well handled.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a shame that the City of Melbourne weren't able to organise a proper event, and I think that they probably would have if COVID settings permitted, and probably hopefully for the World Cup in 18 months' time they can do that. But yeah, I've got to give the cops credit. They did a great job.
Yeah.
There are a few people that got arrested. They did some silly things. Yes, there's always going to be a few. But for the vast majority, the thousands of people, I think that there easily would have been close to 10,000, 12,000 people all up that probably have piled in.
Do you reckon, really?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the Piazza, it was the thing that I think it was also the nature of the fans as well.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, and I don't want to speculate and do that kind of thing, but if those were England supporters who had won, it wouldn't have surprised me if there was more trouble.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a short break here because we'll talk a bit about that, sort of the sentiments, but instead the scenes that happened over at Wembley. Because there were some pretty ugly scenes with the fans that were there, the English fans in particular. We'll bring Josh in just a moment as well. It's good to have Josh back in, even though I've just heard his voice after his mini stay in Canberra, which we saw him have a rush to the border. He got back just in time because of special thanks to the gum sticker, Reese Hawker, who stuck his gum in the right place and then told Josh, hey, Josh, I think you should get back because I've just
Who'd you fly with?
I think it was Jetstar.
Qantas.
Rex.
Heard they do biggies now. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, he flew the airplane that sponsors Jordan Pickford's arms, Rex. Let's take a short break here on Twilight Football. We'll get back into plenty more from the Euros and also a bit of a touch on what's going on here in Australia. Some exciting news for Melbourne Victory fans, so don't go anywhere.
Clorox knows you want your clothes smelling fresh and clean, but what happens? That's why we created Clorox fabric sanitizers to freshen up your clothes between washes, pre-treat extra stinky laundry, and make sure every last odor comes out in the wash. Clorox fabric sanitizers take care of all that and eliminate 99% of odor-causing bacteria. Plus, they're bleach-free and safe for all colors and fabrics. When it counts, trust Clorox.